Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear students, welcome to our class. Hope you all are doing good. And we have so far completed 3 lessons. Okay, so next, inshallah, we'll be going into lesson 22, chapter 22, which is life processes 1. We cover in this chapter nutrition, transportation, respiration, and excretion. Okay, hope you have taken your notebook and your textbook is in front of you, and let's go into the lesson inshallah. So basically life processes, we know life, right? So we need living organisms, we take food. And why do we take food? Because we need energy in our body. And also when we take the food, the food is processed and waste are removed from our body, and there are many changes that happen in the environment. So how do we respond to that? So all these things, they come under life process. That's what they have given here, the definition, that is the activities by which living organisms take in food as the first process, derive energy, remove waste from their body, and respond to changes in the environment are called life processes. What do you mean? I think you understand what does it mean by respond to changes in the environment. For example, if we have cold environment, our body produces more heat. Okay, if it's hot, then our body sweats so that to keep our body cool. Okay, so these are some how our body respond to the changes in the environment. Okay, in this lesson, inshallah, we'll see these things that are nutrition, respiration. I hope you know what is respiration. That is, we take oxygen, we inhale oxygen and exhale CO2 because we need we need to breathe to survive. Okay, so inshallah, the first one is the nutrition. We all know that we have to take food. Why do we need food? Because we have to survive. We feel hungry if you don't eat, we will feel tired. Okay, and our body, to function properly, for everything, for heart and for brain and everything, we need energy in our body. So we need to take nutrition. Different kind of parts in our body need different nutritions. Okay, so that's why we have to take food. So that is the purpose of nutrition. Nutrition is present in food. What is nutrition? Nutrition is basically like you have protein, you have carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are used for energy, protein used for building muscles and other processes, like many other things. Okay, so all these things, they come under nutrition. So there are three purposes of food. First one is that it provides energy to carry out life processes, such as respiration. Okay, that is necessary in our body. Then digestion, that is when we take the food, it has to be digested so that it will be converted into useful things like protein or carbohydrates or fats, like that. Okay, then excretion, that is extra thing, that waste things. Okay, after the food has been digested, it has to be removed from our body. That is what is called as excretion. Okay, and the second service, that it helps in growth of the body. Food helps in the growth of the body and repair of worn out and damaged cells. Okay, we have seen in the last lesson that we saw in the last lesson that our body, our cells, they worn out. Okay, they become old, and some cells, they become damaged. So we have to replace them. So they need nutrition. That's why we have to take food. And also tissues, that tissues are basically formed from cells. Then, to help in the production of enzymes and hormones in the body, we have to produce digestive enzymes, we have to produce some other hormones, okay, in our body for proper functioning. So to produce all these things, these are necessary. Enzymes and hormones are necessary in our body. So uh, we need food, okay, for the production of enzymes and hormones in our body. So nutrition, what is the definition of nutrition? When asked in exam, you have to write this. That is, nutrition is defined as a process by which living beings obtain food. So it is a process by which living beings obtain food. Then the next step is change food into simple absorbable forms. then use it to make substances needed by the body. So see the steps. First is to obtain the food and change the food into simple absorbable forms. That is, we eat the food, we chew it down, we make it into small, then it goes into our stomach, and there digestion happens, and the food is further this thing broken down into smaller things, absorbable forms, and finally they use it to make substances needed by the body like protein and all other things. Okay, there are types of nutrition. We know that plants can make their own food. Plants can make their own food because and by the process of photosynthesis. We will see what photosynthesis is. So animals eat plants and other animals. So basically, an animal would eat, if it's a herbivore, that is, if it only eats plants, then it eats the plants. Okay. If it's a carnivore, it eats animals. Okay. Like for example, lions eat deer, like that. Then if they are omnivores, they eat both. They eat both plants and animals, like humans and some other animals. Okay. So there are two main modes of nutrition. There are two main modes of nutrition. One is autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. You have to remember this. When asked what are the two types of nutrition, you have to tell there are two types of nutrition. One is autotrophic nutrition and another one is heterotrophic nutrition. What are these? We'll see inshallah. So autotrophic, the word auto means self, trophos means food. So basically anything that can produce their own food, they don't have to depend upon some other living organisms, then they are called as autotrophs. So how this autotrophic nutrition works, green plants, algae and certain bacteria, they produce their own food through photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? We will see in detail inshallah. Okay, just remember that they produce their own food through photosynthesis. So they are called as autotrophs, and their mode of nutrition is called as autotrophic nutrition. So they are the producers of the food chain, as all organisms depend for food on them. Okay, so plant, they are the producers. So they ultimately produce the food from sunlight. In the photosynthesis, basically produce their food using sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. Plants do this. So they are the producers of the nutrition. Then what happens? Other animals like herbivores eat it, omnivores eat it, carnivores eat from the herbivorous animals. So this is how the energy is passed from one chain to another thing, another level. Okay, I hope you get what I'm telling. Then heterotrophic nutrition. Heteros means different, trophos means food. So these organisms, they depend on other organisms for food. So they are called as heterotrophs, and their mode of nutrition is heterotrophic nutrition. This you have to remember. Like humans, we depend upon other animals. We cannot produce food using photosynthesis, using sunlight or other things. We have to eat some plants and we eat some animals that are permissible for us. Okay, so heterotrophic nutrition is of various types. There are three types heterotrophic nutrition. First one is that holozoic nutrition. In Greek, holos means whole, that is complete. Zoic means animal. So it includes ingestion, digestion, and absorption of food. Okay, as in amoeba, frogs, and human beings. What we do, we eat that. That is ingestion. We eat that. We take it, right. Then digestion in our stomach. Digestion happens. Then absorption. After digestion, the nutrients are absorbed in our body. So this is what is called as holozoic nutrition. So basically, we take that, we digest that, and we absorb the nutrients. Okay. Then second is that parasitic nutrition. So they don't take from one eat a certain thing. Okay, food. So parasitic is, the name itself suggests that it is parasitic which lives on other animals. Okay, it lives on other animals. So have you been bitten by a head louse or bed bug or had worms in the body? Yes. Head loss is nothing but in Tamil, I think even in Bari they call it pain. In a head, pain will be there for some people. Pain will be there. It lives on humans, and they take energy from humans. They take nutrition from humans. So basically, parasites are those which live on other animals or inside some animals, like worms. In our body, inside we will have some worms. So these organisms that live on or inside other living organisms, and they derive their food. Okay, so this is what is called as parasites, and their nutrition mode is called as parasitic nutrition. So they have given an example: cascata or dodler plant is a parasite on green plants. Just an example. Okay, some plants they have given. I gave an example, right? Head louse, that is pain on our head, that's a parasite. And the third one is saprotrophic nutrition. So if you have seen some old bread, if you have kept a bread and you have not eaten that for some days, what will happen? You will see a small like white color formation on the bread, right? So that basically it uh, it's a what? It's a fungi. So it takes the nutrition from uh, organic matter. Okay, decaying organic matter. So, and also if it's like wet leather shoes or belts, if you have kept it for some period without using it, you will see some white cottony growth, cotton like small white color growth on them. So it's basically, this is fungus. They grow and feed on substances which were once part of the living organisms, okay, such as stored food, wood, leather, or rotten plant products. So they are like dead decaying matter. They get they are decaying, and the fungus they take their nutrition from that. Some common examples are mushrooms. You know how mushrooms are made? I'll show you. So mushrooms growth, if you have seen somewhere, you can observe. See, see here, the mushrooms they are growing on some organic matter like some old plants and other things. So mushrooms also is a fungi. Okay, and also bread mold. I'll show you bread mold. Okay, yeah, if you have kept bread for some longer time, then it will become like this. So these are fungus that grow. They take their nutrition from the decaying matter. Okay, I hope you are getting what saprotrophic nutrition method is, mode is. So this is the definition. Organisms that derive their food from dead and decaying organisms are called as saprotrophs. Okay, they help in cleaning the environment by decomposing the dead and decaying organic matter. Okay, so if there are some dead decaying organic matter, they help in cleaning them. So okay, I hope you get it. The next is that nutrition in plants, that is photosynthesis. As I told before, that we will see photosynthesis in detail. So photo means light, and synthesis means to make something, to produce something. So photosynthesis is a biochemical process. Okay, chemical is involved in it. That is chemical like what? Anything like water is also a chemical. So and also some other is a biological process. So that's why it is biochemical process in which green plants manufacture their own food using carbon dioxide and water as raw materials in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So these are the three materials. If asked in exam, you have to remember this. What are the raw materials used in photosynthesis? You have to write carbon dioxide, second is water, third one sunlight, and fourth one chlorophyll, which is present in the plant cell. Okay, and oxygen is released as a byproduct in this process. We have oxygen in the atmosphere, we breathe it, we inhale it, because we have to respirate to live, and that we get from the plants because they release that after photosynthesis. We will see how it happens. So photosynthesis is the only process, it is the only process by which solar energy, that is light energy, is converted into chemical energy. Okay, so sunlight is absorbed and it is then converted into chemical energy. So this is the overall equation of photosynthesis. you have 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 12 molecules of water. In the presence of sunlight, what happens? It is being converted into glucose, which is the uh, energy thing for plants. Okay, and then you have water, 6 molecules of water, and then 6 molecules of oxygen released into the atmosphere from the plants. So this is the photosynthesis process in which carbon dioxide, water, in the presence of sunlight, glucose is formed for the plants. That is the food for plants. So essential raw materials for photosynthesis, as I told, there are 4, that is chlorophyll, sunlight, carbon dioxide and water. This you have to remember. When asked in exam, you have to say, that is carbon dioxide, water, light and chlorophyll. So light gives energy for photosynthesis. So photosynthesis takes place in chloroplast in the cells of leaves. So I'll show you. So basically, here is the plant cell model. You can see, I think we saw in the last lesson plant cells and animal cells and what are the things present in plant cell, like chloroplast, nucleus and all those things. So you can see chloroplast here. This is the thing, green color small thing next to mitochondria. So this is present throughout the cell, chloroplast. So that is the place where this photosynthesis happens. Hope you are getting. So photosynthesis takes place in chloroplast in the cells of the leaves. So leaves will have cells, and inside the cells chloroplast will be there. Inside the chloroplast, photosynthesis process will happen. So the green color of the plant, we see green color, right? The plant looks green in color. It is because of the presence of chlorophyll. It's a green pigment. Pigment is something which gives color. Okay, so chlorophyll is a green pigment that is used in photosynthesis. This you have to remember. So where is the location of chlorophyll? It is in the chloroplast. And what is the function? It traps the light. So you have sunlight, and this chlorophyll, they trap the sunlight, which will be used for photosynthesis. So the second raw material is the sunlight. As I told, sunlight is absorbed by chlorophyll as solar energy. So chlorophyll has the capacity to absorb the sunlight. Okay, and you have the third process, that is carbon dioxide and water. That is third and fourth raw material. That is carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide and water are combined in the chloroplast with the help of a number of enzymes to yield sugar. So this carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide, where do they get? From the atmosphere. Plants get from the atmosphere, that is CO2, and water they get from the soil through absorption. Okay, so these two are combined in the chloroplast with the help of number of enzymes. They have not mentioned the names of the enzymes here, but you just remember that there are many enzymes that help combining carbon dioxide and water in the chloroplast to yield sugar. So sugar is yielded, it's a molecule. Okay, C12H22 and O12. Okay, there's a molecular formula of sugar, O11. Okay, C12H22O11. This is the molecular formula of sugar. Then further this is converted into starch. Okay, starch, it will be stored for the plant. So oxygen formed during photosynthesis. I told that during photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is utilized plus water and sunlight, and it is further converted into glucose for plant, and oxygen will be released into the atmosphere through stomata. You have to remember. So stomata we will see in detail how the function, but here I'll show you. You can see here, this is the plant. Under the plant leaves, you will have stomata, that is small openings. Through that plants respirate. So stomata, when they open, they can take CO2. Okay, and when photosynthesis is done, they release the oxygen through the stomata. This you have to remember. Okay, so here they have given a pictorial representation. Sunlight, chlorophyll, it absorbs the sunlight. CO2, that is carbon dioxide from air, is taken through stomata, plus water which we get from soil through absorption. That is plant, they get from soil through absorption. Then it is converted into glucose to different parts of the plant. Glucose is the food for plant, so it will be passed to the different parts of the plant. Then oxygen is released into the air. So the mechanism of photosynthesis. I think we'll stop here because no, I'll end it. Mm, yeah, I'll end it inshallah. No problem. We have some time. So significant. So mechanism of photosynthesis. There are two steps. The photosynthesis, they occur in two steps. First one is that light reaction, and the another one is a dark reaction. These are the two steps involved in photosynthesis. So during the light reaction, what happens? The light is captured by chloroplast, in which chlorophyll is present, and this what happens? Uh, ATP or ATP or some other forms of molecules are formed. You don't have to remember them because here they have not mentioned here. Some molecules are formed in the light reaction. Okay. Then what happens? Those are converted into glucose. Okay, in the dark reaction. So these are the two steps the photosynthesis occurs. In the light reaction, light is captured and some molecules are formed, okay, and further that molecules are converted into glucose. That is what is called as dark reaction. So dark reaction occurs in chloroplast as well. So they occur simultaneously, okay, they occur simultaneously at the same time. So what happens at the end of what happens to the end products of photosynthesis? So glucose is formed in the photosynthesis, that is the food for plant. So they are used by the cells, okay. Cells, they are transported to another places, another parts of the plants, or if they have excess, they are stored in the form of starch, okay. And the end product, another end product is that oxygen, which is released into atmosphere, and this is the energy released during photosynthesis, okay. So we breathe the oxygen. So there are three significances of photosynthesis. First is that it is responsible for providing food to all living beings, because I told they are the producers. Plant is the producer. So this photosynthesis is responsible for providing food to all living beings. I already explained this, how this is. And the second is that carbon dioxide produced during respiration. When we respirate, living beings, we inhale oxygen and we exhale CO2. So the CO2 will be there in the atmosphere. So this will be absorbed by the plants during photosynthesis, and so that the carbon dioxide does not accumulate in the atmosphere. And the third one is that oxygen released during photosynthesis is used for respiration by living beings. Like humans, we use those oxygen for our respiration. Okay. Inshallah, next class we will see nutrition in humans. So please listen and read the lessons well. Hope you understand. If you have any doubt, you can ask me anytime. Inshallah, you can message me. Barakallah feekum. Study well. And one more reminder that for the 3 lessons, only few students have sent me the notes. It is very small. I just told you to write down the at the end of the lesson you have the things you have learned. That's it. You have to write. It won't take more than 15 minutes. I think in 10 minutes you can complete it. So you have to send it. Otherwise, inshallah, I will tell your HOD or your vice principal. So before that, please submit. Please send it to me. Barakallah feekum. We'll end it here. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.